Hello everybody and welcome to the second race of the weekend and the fourth round of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship in 2021, the seventh season of its all-electric series. Yesterday on the streets of Rome we were treated to a safety car start and a safety car finish for the first time in Formula E history, both happening at exactly the same time. But 9 different lead changes, 5 different drivers leading the race, and the leader on the last couple of laps, Lucas de Grassi, slowing and causing the 2 Mercedes drivers of Stoffel Vandoorne and Nyck de Vries to make contact. It really was a dramatic race. Today, a wet qualifying has produced an unusual front row. 2 rookies, Nick Cassidy and Norman Nato, are 1 and 2 on the grid. So, let's take a quick look at where we are in terms of the championship. This is the 4th round of the season before we go off in a couple of weeks' time for a double-header in Spain at Valencia. Marrakesh is still on in May, as is the Monaco Grand Prix, and then it's followed further on with 2 races in Santiago. Currently 10 rounds confirmed on the championship. Now let's get straight into the action. At 5 o'clock this morning, I got a very rude alarm call to get ready for the 6 a.m. UK time start for the 3rd and final practice session. Here's what happened. So the 3rd and final practice session of the weekend, and it went the way of pole sitter Nick Cassidy. It seems like they've switched something on in that Envision Virgin Racing team. He did a fantastic 140-107. Everyone completing round about 10 to 12 laps in the mixed conditions out there. Rain overnight, the damp track out there. It wasn't that great, but 45 extra minutes was needed for everybody out there. But we didn't see much spinning. Few drivers, Sergio Sette Camera going off the track at one point as well, everyone finding the limits, but ideally it was a great practice session. Cassidy, Gunther, Vandoorne, Camera, Roland, Dennis, Verne, Boemi, Mortara and Lotterer at the top 10. Pretty much an as-you-go session. The only difference was the 2 Neos further down. Blomqvist 23rd and Oliver Turvey with a brand new car setup after what happened yesterday in practice. His first chance to actually get it tested since yesterday. He's very much on the back foot, so great session for him. But FP3, very much uneventful, unfortunately. Let's move on then to see what happened in qualifying. So here's what happened in qualifying, and it was one of the most dramatic qualifyings I think we've seen in Formula E. Here's my usual notes I make up in the commentary box to keep a track of everything. Throw them away, because it all didn't work as it was supposed to. Because, honestly, 4 groups as normal. Going out in group number 1, Sam Bird, the championship leader, Robin Freins in second, followed by Nyck de Vries, Mitch Evans, Jean-Eric Verne and René Rast, but they were greeted with absolutely horrific track conditions out there as well. Honestly, they had to push so much. The lap times were around about the 1 minute 56s as well, so it meant that they were very much on the back foot as the rain stopped and started to get better. So it was Bird, Evans, de Vries, Freins, Rast and Verne, how they finished in qualifying group number 1. And also a factor into that as well is that Bird will start this race in 12th, Evans 13th, de Vries 19th, Freins 20th, Rast 21st and Verne 22nd before penalties applied. That's where they were in qualifying. That's how they finished as well. Going on to qualifying Group 2, we saw Eduardo Mortara, Pascal Wehrlein, Antonio Felix da Costa, Oliver Rowland, Sergio Sette Camera and Sebastian Boemi. Now, Wehrlein managed to get through into Super Pole as well. A fantastic lap time for him. 2 seconds faster than what we saw with Bird. Then it was Mortara, Rowland, Boemi, da Costa and Sette Camera who stopped down on the track as well and earned, unfortunately, a did not qualify with no time. So he starts 24th on the grid. That has been confirmed. Qualifying Group 3 saw Nico Muller, Oliver Turvey, Stoffel Vandoorne, Alexander Sims, Lucas de Grassi and Alex Lynn going through. Sims and Vandoorne, they were managed to go through, but behind them Miller, de Grassi, Lynn, Turvey. That's how they went through on the grid. Qualifying Group 4 saw Maximilian Gunther, Tom Blomqvist, Norman Nato, Andre Lotterer, Jake Dennis and Nick Cassidy. Nato, Cassidy and Gunther went through, as did Andre Lotterer. But Lotterer was judged to have done a power overuse, like we saw yesterday, so he was disqualified from Super Pole and his best time removed. He starts this race 22nd on the grid. So he is qualified completely from qualifying. That promoted Stoffel Van Dorn into the running order. So Van Dorn, who was off eating a banana, had to jump back in the car and psych himself up for a hot lap. He did it, and he did really well. Set the fastest time to begin with. Followed out was Pascal Wehrlein, who went faster than him. Then we saw Gunther, who had a really poor lap. He went into third place behind Van Dorn. Sims had the shocker of all shockers. Went down into sixth place after seeming to set some strong times early on. But then we saw the really great runs, and I mean really great runs by the rookies. Nick Cassidy went out first ahead of Norman Nato. Cassidy was so in tune with the track, bouncing off the curbs where I thought he even hit the wall at one point. Beautiful car control, and Cassidy went fastest overall. Then it came the turn of Norman Nato, and Nato unfortunately did touch the wall at the exit, lost a couple of tenths of a second, and starts in second place. But a rookie on pole position for the fourth round of the season, and as well, great news, it's an all-rookie front row. So this is how they line up on the grid. You've been seeing it while I've been going through the qualifying results, but let's talk you through it. The first row of the grid sees Nick Cassidy alongside Norman Nato. The row 2, Pascal Wehrlein and Stoffel Van Dorn. The third row, Max Gunther and Alex Sims. Row 4, Eduardo Mortara, Oliver Rowland. Row 5 is Nico Muller alongside Sebastian Boemi. The sixth row, Sam Bird alongside Mitch Evans. Then we go to row 7, Lucas de Grassi and Tom Blomqvist. Row 8, Antonio Felix da Costa and Alex Lynn. Row 9, Oliver Turvey and Nick de Vries. Row 10, Robin Freins and Rene Rast. Row 11, Jean-Eric Verne alongside Andre Lotterer, as I said, starting 22nd. Row 12, Sergio Sete Camera, and right at the back of the grid, Jake Dennis, who failed to get out in qualifying and did not qualify in group number 4. Penalties have been applied as well after yesterday, but car 7, 36 and 27, that is of course car 7, so car 36, Andre Lotterer, and car 27, Jake Dennis. They're all allowed to take the start of the race after being given permission by the stewards. Okay, it's time to cross up to the commentary box now. Alongside me in the commentary box is Edward Hunter for the second race of the day as well. And we're hoping to have a lights-out start. So keep your fingers crossed, it should be a good one. Here's the ePrix then from Rome, your commentators Joshua Burch and Edward Hunter. Hello everybody and welcome up to the commentary box for round 4 of the 2021 ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. We are here once again in Rome, and what a difference a day makes. We've still got slight dark clouds around the circuit. Qualifying was a lot wetter than what we expected it to be, but the track just about drying out. The sun has broken through in parts, and this is how they line up on the grid. Oliver Turvey now starts 24th on the grid alongside Jake Dennis. They're in 22nd. It's Sergio Sete Camera. Andre Lotterer is 21st.
Joshua.
Oh, thanks, Ed. So, yeah, Oliver Turvey starts from the pit lane. So that's Jake Dennis at the back. And Sergio Sete Camera, Andre Lotterer, followed by Jean-Eric Verne, Rene Rast, Robin Freins, Nick de Vries, Alex Lynn, Antonio Felix da Costa, Tom Blomqvist, Lucas de Grassi, Mitch Evans and Sam Bird, once again for the second race in a row, starts 11th on the grid. And as we ride now with the Segway going all the way down from 10th to 1st, backwards down the order, we see Sebastian Boemi start in 10th place in the Nissan e.Dams on the 5th row of the grid. He's alongside Nico Muller as well in the Dragon Penske Autosport cars. Boemi has had luck here previously with a couple of podium, but he's never really taken a victory in the Nissan era. Can this to be the first one? He's looking good in mixed conditions. Remember Paris, he was on the podium then. Oh, and the Segway guy's been hit on the grid by one of the Dragon engineers who's trying to get the cars out of the way. So maybe that'll stop it from being in the background. Oliver Rowland starts 8th on the grid as well on the 4th row. He's alongside Eduardo Mortara, who should have qualified higher, but a missed opportunity in the mixed conditions of qualifying earlier on. The 3rd row sees Alexander Sims and Maximilian Gunther as well. Gunther, very much one to look for in the BMW I Andretti after a whole couple of days. Further back as well, we'll see Stoffel van Dorn, who looked in and got given a little bit of an early Christmas present by the race director Scott Elkin after Andre Lotterer was judged to have used a power overuse in qualifying. 2nd row of the grid, alongside him is Pascal Wehrlein, and then the front is an all-rookie front row. Norman Nato starts 2nd for Rocket Venturi, and Envision Virgin Racing's Nick Cassidy is on pole position. Alongside me in the commentary box for the 2nd race today is Edward Hunter. Ed, first of all, what a race yesterday.
It was very exciting. It's a shame it couldn't go the full distance. It had to end under the safety car. But Vern did drive very well. I sort of said a lot that he just kind of held on. But to be fair, the Techeetah mechanics did a great job to repair that car, get it out after the crash from practice. And Vern didn't put a foot wrong all day, while others around them, Degrassi pushed people out of the way, but drove very well, but then had a drive shaft failure from the lead. So basically handed it to Vern. Bird was very strong yesterday as well. That gag with the mechanics bumping into the Segway guy, that reminded me of something that from one of my Lego Formula E videos that I do, where you would have some kind of gag going on in the background.
And I hate to say it, but for the 2nd day running, the race is now underway behind the safety car. So
inevitable, really, wasn't it, Joshua?
Well, that's really, really annoying because they've got the start lights there. We were all anticipating a green flag start, but no, the safety car leads them around again. So
it would have been a pile-up for sure if they started from the grid.
So this is the first lap of the Rome ePrix round 4. Nick Cassidy leads the way from Norman Nato, from Pascal Wehrlein. Ed, going in the future as well, for next season, are they going to have to move the start line if they cannot do a wet start?
Well, I think it may not necessarily just be a wet start. It might just be the corner itself. It's just way too narrow. But even in the dry, but yeah, it being slightly kind of mixed conditions because it's not that wet. Especially it was about the same yesterday, I think. Although that could change as the 45 minutes goes on. But it's definitely a bit unfortunate. In fact, this section of track that's from the previous one, actually, the first couple of corners, that's where Gunther spun in season 5, I think, when he was driving for Dragon. He got into Superpole, qualified really high up, and then just spun there and just lost his front wing on the first lap or something, which was pretty chaotic. One of the reasons why they changed the layout for this season. Well, overall, I think it's
it's a big improvement,
better track. Yeah, definitely in terms of overall race. So I think the compromise is good, even if we can't have a start. I think the old start was quite handy because we had a hairpin to start into rather than sort of a really fast section of corners
and 7,
a tight sort of left-hander.
Safety car in this lap. Sorry, just going to cross you there. Safety car in this lap, and Synthol says, are the cars equal like Formula 2? Ed, you're the tech.
Not quite. I think the best way of explaining this is that the bodywork, the chassis, those are all equal. They've just got different colour liveries and occasionally different drivers as well. But the main difference is the powertrain. They're allowed to change the motor, the inverter, and the gearbox, I believe. Since season 2, that's always been the rules. We have the Techeetah team, DS Techeetah, have brought in their new DS/Citroen powertrain for this weekend, but won yesterday in the hands of Vern. But everyone else is either running a season 6 powertrain in the case of Dragon and Nissan, who haven't introduced theirs yet. The Dragon were, and then they backed out at the last minute this weekend. Everyone else is running their season 7 powertrain.
And the green flags are out just as Cassidy crosses the line, and the Rome ePrix is underway once again. A good start from Cassidy. He's left Nato for dust, and he's spun down into turn 1. He's locked the rears, and Cassidy on pole position debut loses it by turn 1.
Oh no, Nick.
Lost it, gets back on the track as well. Nato leads and only completing 1 lap before the second lead change. Wehrlein to second, Van Dorn to third. Gunther as well back there. And that was just cold tyres and just flicking in the corner. And that is always the problem of being the first into a tricky situation as Sims tries to get past Gunther. Down towards turn 7, pulls over the open drain cover, tries round the outside, late on the brakes. Gunther keeps the inside line. Sims can't get through. and that's where Van Dorn and Lotterer hit yesterday. Brutal start, though, and you've got to feel for Cassidy to drop down to P11.
Well, it was his mistake, really, on the cold day. He could have been a bit more cautious, I'm afraid, with the rear brakes there. And they locked, he went round, there was nothing he could really do. But now Norman Nato, surprisingly, someone who is very underrated, I feel, has got a brilliant position to score a lot of points here as he's in the lead. And he's got to just hold on from Verline at this stage of the race. But yeah, Simpson good for having a great little battle too. Used to be teammates at BMW Andretti, of course. Not anymore. So Sims doing everything to get by this time.
The bad weekend continues for Andre Lotterer. A 10-second stop-go penalty for car parts that were changed over the limit. So that's an interesting one. And there's been a 2 kilowatt energy reduction in overall times. And there's a replay just honestly under braking as well. He went to turn in, the rear's completely locked, and it spun him around as quickly as you could possibly expect in a Formula E car. That was a very unusual one. Tried to regen going into turn 1, as you said, didn't work out as well. And now we get Nato leading as Burch has passed Evans, but Freins has dropped down. Well, De Vries actually dropped down to 17th place, but he wasn't that far up the order anyway. So De Vries being the bigger surprise as we're having to see Verline defend from Van Dorn, but so far everyone being a bit happy.
Yeah, and Lotterer going in to serve his penalty. And so, by the way, Oliver Turvey has finally got out the pit lane and started the race for the first time in Rome. He's running 23rd position, a couple of seconds behind Jake Dennis. And yeah, just looking at that replay of Cassidy, he did well to get it going again in 10th position, actually. But yeah, a golden opportunity here for Venturi. I did predict Mortara would win. I didn't think it would be the other Venturi. Nato, I think, surprising a lot of people today. It was a good performance.
4 races so far, no points on the board. Could he get the 25 today? I tell you what, Susie Rolfe is now going to be biting those nails, as we've seen her do when she was in the Williams garage in Formula 1.
Look, and now Verline is having to defend from Van Dorn.
Still is, yeah.
The Mercedes and the Porsche fight each other, and potentially Gunther as well, then that could really help Nato in terms of saving energy for later in the race.
0.3 of a second gap between each of them at the moment. Nato, Verline and Van Dorn. So 8 tenths separate them, 9 tenths now separate them as they come into the hairpin at turn 15. So at the moment, this does stand to benefit Nick De Vries, believe it or not.
And as Cassidy has also got past Buemi, as we didn't mention that, but Cassidy up to 9th, so looking to make amends.
Let's see his fight back. We know this is a track that you can overtake at. Bird started 11th yesterday, got 2nd overall, helped by 9 lead changes. But with 38 minutes to go, 2 laps already completed on a dry track.
We've had 1 lead change already. It's a rerun of yesterday, isn't it? Where except Lotterer didn't have to pump someone out the way. Cassidy did it all on his own on this occasion.
5 lead changes yesterday. 9 different lead changes, 5 different leaders in the race yesterday. Fastest lap of the race has gone to Jean-Eric Verne, a 1:43.969. Good one. As Bird throws it up the inside very late on the brakes as well to get past Buemi. Buemi almost putting into the wall as well. He's got Mitch Evans just behind him. The 2 Jaguars, like yesterday, Ed, they seem to be working together a lot more.
Yeah, and Buemi, unfortunately, acting as a little bit of a roadblock here for the Jaguars.
And Cassidy sends it up the inside at the same time. Verline has taken the lead of the race away from Norman Nato. Verline sneaking up the inside at turn 7. Didn't see it on the cameras, but Verline is ahead. Nato's down to 2nd place, already a lead change. And on the radio...
Yeah, so Verline really being aggressive on energy at this stage then.
And here we go again. Caught Nato completely by surprise. I think caught Verline by surprise. He moved over to the inside line on the bumps and just slipped up the inside before Nato even knew he was there. And now Van Dorn dives up the inside. That's late. They've made contact. And Nato just avoids the wall. Van Dorn going up the inside down at turn 14. Not working. Tries the cutback. Pulls to the...
Another opportunist one from Van Dorn where he sort of had the inside just before the hairpin, the Marconi hairpin. And then he had another go. And has got down through the inside. You can tell I'm a little bit behind, but don't worry.
It's all right. We just lost connection to the YouTube stream, so you're back up and running with us now. Let us know in the chat below as well if we are currently on. I mean, I'm watching it as well on the other monitor, so we are, but just let us know. As it said, reconnecting, so apologies for that. Internet bad in Rome, internet bad in Grimsby, but it's perfect where you are at the moment, Ed, and that's a surprise. I've seen Cassidy under pressure. He's been repassed now by Roland as Cassidy having to defend as well. Oh, poor Nick Cassidy is being swamped left and right. Just got passed by Mortara. Roland's coming through now as well. It's all go.
Yeah, those three all together. So it looks like Cassidy did well to actually get in front of the dragon of Muller, which I believe is going to hold up Bird now for the next couple of laps, unless he can find a way through past that old season 6 powertrain dragon. Yeah, but I'm just thinking of a team radio from Van Dorn. And Van Dorn's being told to close the gap to Verline, basically.
That is a surprise. Van Dorn's closing the gap, but car 4, Robin Friends, under investigation as going for attack mode, and I think has missed attack mode massively there, is Roland. Somehow, though, despite missing the first 2 sensors, has got it, and now he's on the inside, and he hits Cassidy, and Cassidy's bang into the wall! The second time!
Oh, no.
Cassidy had absolutely nowhere to go in that one. And now Roland's surely going to get a penalty for that one. I think, he's reversing, but he's damaged to the front wing as well. And
Another
Cassidy.
clumsy mistake by Roland. We had this yesterday as well, where he sped under the safety car start, and he could have easily won that one if he'd not done that.
Cassidy's swearing over the radio as well. I'm not surprised. I would be if it was that. And Sam Bird back up to 9th place as well. The transponder having a little bit of a glitch at the same time. This is, by the look of it, 3 abreast cars into 1. Alex Lynn trying to defend as well. Lynn, that's dangerous up the inside. De Vries throws up the inside of Blomqvist. Lynn's back up into 14th as well. They went 3 abreast further ahead. Bird dropping down the order and then back up the order as well. They're all changing positions as Friends is under investigation for not keeping car 10 lenient. That's what it says on the race control stream. Don't know what that is about. I've never seen that come up. How do you keep a car lenient?
Yeah, I think Cassidy did well to extract himself from the barrier and get going again, but the front wing looking a bit wobbly, so where's he got going again? I think he's at the very back and he's just gone into the pit lane.
Yeah.
As Lotter's attack mode is about to run out, but Roland and Rast are still in it. I think you're right, Oliver Roland, contact's definitely going to be investigated as De Vries is making his way up the order past Tom Blomqvist for
we're seeing a replay now.
Position.
Roland on the inside. To be fair, on the outside as well, he had more tower, and Cassidy was just sort of in the way. He couldn't really do anything. Yellow down at turn 7. Not sure what that's about. I'm sure we'll see a replay. That's Cassidy on the radio. And Cassidy,
is he swearing some more?
No, his race engineer actually saying, just calm down, we'll get you into a race strategy and keep on going. Vern's taken attack mode, green flag's back out, and Robin Friends has been given a 5-second time penalty as well. But I don't think it's for lenient as well, looking at that.
Robin Friends is down in 17th, so yeah.
Day over.
And it was, I believe it was Muller who was on the outside there when Roland was trying to avoid them.
Yeah, I think it was Muller actually thinking about that.
I think Bird might have actually got by Muller as a result of all that.
But yeah. Muller's just got repast him actually, so Bird's still down to 9th place. Muller's P8, according to my monitor at least. And Roland and Cassidy under investigation causing a collision. Well, we don't need to be Miss Marple to work out there's going to be Cassidy who's going to file the penalty against Roland, and Roland will go bye-bye after this one. And now, 4-way battle for the lead.
Brian's penalty was his failure to keep 10 car lengths behind the safety car, I believe. That would make sense. They would think France was a bit too close to the car in front.
Why it said lenient on my monitor, I don't know. The stewards might be having a bit of a brain fade. It hasn't come up yet, but okay, so that's why the 5-second penalty was, not keeping the car length between the safety car positions, as you said. Round that turn 12-13 chicane, that always gives me a bit of flashbacks to previous incidents involving chicanes in Formula E. What was it, season 5? 4 red flags due to chicanes, something like that? Although Sims doesn't count as flying off, taking attack mode, Van Dorn, Nato and Gunther. And that has promoted, I think, Muller up into 2nd position. It's all getting bumping and balling, and Robin Friends again diving up the... Sorry, not Robin Friends, Oliver Roland diving up the inside, this time kicking off the 71 and Nato. And Nato dropping down the order. Roland, the big bully today, it seems. He's really getting those guns out.
Yeah, I think it seems more not through choice, but just through circumstance. Oliver Roland's having to make contact with people to get past them.
Absolutely, and looking at this as well, Synthol says him again. He kind of turned in as well, but not really a good move. That was from Synthol in the group chat on the YouTube channel, as we see at the moment, driving up the inside, the BMW, Roland's under pressure this time, Gunther back up the inside, and now we're seeing as well, Norman Nato and Eduardo Mortara are going to gobble up Roland, who's just lost attack mode, and he's a sitting duck. Nato's all over the back of him now as they come round turn 6, on the start straight, down towards the braking zone at turn 7. and Nato tries to the outside. Roland squeezing it towards the wall. They bang once, they bang twice, wheel to wheel, and this is just getting a bit obnoxious now from Roland. He was squeezing Nato towards the wall in a penalty situation. Double yellow, turn 7. Don't know what that's
brave
about.
stuff by Norman Nato to keep his foot in, though, even if Oliver Owen was going to squeeze him all the way. But yeah, I was just looking at
Oh,
Gunther
Degrassi stopped!
getting past now.
Degrassi's dropping
not
down my
again.
order. Yeah, turn 7. Degrassi, that's at the same point he was yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong. Turn 7 yesterday.
Let's hope Van Dorn isn't anyway.
Van Dorn's gone through, and Degrassi's actually hit the wall. He's made contact with someone, actually, because the wall looks okay. But the front wing of Degrassi is damaged, and the car's come to a stop down at turn 7. This might be full course yellow, as Van Dorn takes the lead of the ePrix, because Verline has gone for attack mode, and could that become crucial on Van Dorn, actually? Not to joke, looks to have slight damage to the front wing.
Oh. I'm just looking at Bird making his move on Muller. He just sort of locked up and sent both of them into the runoff area. So a little bit too ambitious from Sam Bird, trying to go where there wasn't really a gap there.
And just hearing on the radio, Degrassi said it was Buemi who moved over in the straight and made contact with him. Full course yellow.
No love lost between those two over the years, it seems.
We're seeing a replay. Degrassi actually big into the wall, similar to what we saw with Van Dorn yesterday. Full course yellows come out. Buemi cut across the front of Degrassi, and it launched Degrassi into the wall. It didn't help that at the same time Buemi pulled across. Degrassi hit that drain cover again, and he flew towards the wall. Full course yellow. Oh, and Degrassi's actually got no front suspension at all there, so it's all gone in.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for them to extract that car, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got 8 laps, 9 laps, I believe, completed now, is it?
Yeah, 9 it would be, yeah. And, that was... I think that was Degrassi who turned in on Buemi, looking at the replay.
I'm just seeing the replay of it now. Oh, yeah, they're weaving, and it was Degrassi in front and turned into Buemi, I think.
Yeah,
he felt Buemi should have got out of the way. So the entire side and the front of his car has been wrecked. So the side, he lost the rear... Yeah, he turned in without being clear of Buemi, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, that's what happened. And now, unfortunately, that's his second race ending in exactly the same point it did yesterday. Down at turn 7. Van Dorn, I was going to just get a bit dramatic because he's slowing. Then I looked up and remembered it's the full course yellow, so the cars are limited.
Everyone's slowing,
yeah.
Don't worry, Joshua.
Yes, everyone's slowing. The car's limited to 50 kilometres an hour now to keep everybody safe out there.
So what Degrassi will argue is that Buemi nudged the back of him, but Buemi will argue Degrassi wasn't clear when he made the move. So yeah, I think from the rear angle it's a little hard to tell, but I would say maybe Lucas Degrassi got a bit too overconfident there. And we've seen Degrassi. Degrassi is the kind of guy who always thinks he's right in every situation, as evidenced by the fact that he's blocked me on Twitter for I think 4 or 5 years now. but there we go. This seen the evidence of that one. So I'm not too upset to see him in the wall and out of the race, but I'm glad he's all right and out of the car at least.
This is very unusual from Formula E. They're re-showing the start of the race with all the timing graphics and seeing what happened with Cassidy. So to the casual viewer watching along,
this is quite bad news for Van Dorn, Verline, Gunther, Nato, Roland, Buemi, and Bird, because they're all basically wasting an attack mode.
Yes, they've taken the attack mode, but as we mentioned just before I came on air, but haven't actually on air, you are allowed 3 attack modes today. So 3 opportunities, and you're allowed to arm it 5 times. And that was Buemi's on board. It was a bit blurry to see, but Buemi didn't look like he was moving the wheel that much. As you said, he was weaving along, but that was definitely looking from the off-board angle at the big smash. That was Degrassi moving over on Buemi. To borrow a line from both Murray and Jack, it's happened immediately.
So...
Flashbacks of London.
So in terms of the battle for the lead here between Van Dorn and Verline, with Verline having blown in attack mode, I don't think Van Dorn has he?
Van Dorn's out of attack mode
I think Verline has gone into active. Yeah, I think I'm not sure how many both of them have got left, but it definitely seems like it's between those two. Sims in all of this has somehow been able to sneak past Gunther and Nato to get onto the podium for Mahindra. Which is great for them. They've had a bit of a slow start to the season. I'm just looking at the replays.
Yeah.
Very dry. Very lucky Degrassi didn't pinball into someone, actually, as he went into the runoff area.
I thought that was going to happen.
quite high speed there as well.
Turn 6 and 7, once again, for the third time in 2 days, causing massive accidents. Sims started this race P6, so he's done really well. And he's right at the back now
But
of
this is because Sims has not gone for attack mode as much as the others.
And Boemi and Degrassi are under investigation for causing a collision. So that's an interesting one. Full course yellow is coming in, according to Scott Elkin. They're giving us a countdown. And the race is underway. And Sims goes...
Sims right behind Verline.
Yeah, Sims has done it. Sims has gone right round the outside and has taken the position away from Verline. Brilliantly right round the outside.
Has he just completely outfoxed him on the restart? Just jumped him completely.
Yeah.
So Pascal kind of caught napping here.
And Verline's going to be angry about that one. There's an additional 3 kilowatt energy reduction. So with the safety car start, and now they've lost 5 kilowatts of usable energy in this race. It's not a lot to you and me, but let me tell you, for the drivers, every kilowatt of power counts, because if you hit 0 before you cross that finish line, you're out of the race. You get a black flag.
That's going to turn the strategy on its head. Wow, just looking at that move again, Sims just set himself up perfectly around the outside, and Verline did not have any time to react. He just reacted way too late. And look at the debris from Degrassi's car. That could give someone a puncher on the inside if they're not careful, trying to make a move into turn 7.
And now, Gunther's gone for his second attack mode and missed it. Gunther went for attack mode, got it all wrong, and missed the sensors. So now he hasn't lost.
That's like the Venturi's for it, isn't it?
No, Nato went for it too. Nato went for the attack mode, so he's gone through, but Roland's still behind them. He never went for it. But yeah, Gunther went for the attack mode and missed it. He just came in at the wrong angle. So Van Dorn has got 1 attack mode left. He's just taken his second now. Sims and Verline, Gunther all on 2. Nato has just took an attack mode. So has Mortara, Boemi, De Vries, Vern, Muller, Dennis, and Sete Camera. But I tell you what, Verline has kept within us side by side. Nato versus Gunther. Gunther sends down the inside and puts Nato almost into the wall. Just a little bit of a nudge there. Roland coming back round the outside. Mortara's on the attack mode as we cut back to the camera on the start line now to watch them all drag through. As now Verline, catching up with Sims, tries to pull around the outside. And yeah, you're right, that debris is catching drivers out. They're having to avoid it. Nato stays ahead of Roland, and there's debris on the inside now. Very surprised Scott Elkin is allowing this race to continue without that debris being cleared, because it's right on the racing line.
Yeah, it does seem like there's... I don't want to be too critical of the marshals in Rome, but it seems a little lax to leave that out there. As I'm just looking at the... Nato having Gunther almost squeeze him into the wall. Nato's had to really be very careful and get his elbows out of here. He's being like bullied by a lot of these drivers, it feels like, because he's the new guy. But I think he's actually held up pretty well so far. I hope running in 5th position at the moment, ahead of Roland.
Nato's passed Gunther. Not on the monitor, and that's why, because Gunther's gone for attack mode. So has Sims and Verline.
Okay.
So Nato is now up into 4th place. The top 6 now have got the attack mode. Roland hasn't used another one, so he's staying where he is. Bird and Muller under investigation, causing a collision. I didn't see that one on the monitor. Maybe I have, and I've just forgotten. There's a lot of action going on at the moment. Van Dorn leads.
I think in terms of fighting for the lead, it's as long as Verline is stuck behind Sims, I think Van Dorn is going to pull away and run away with this one.
Yeah, they have 5.3.
They're trying to replay of Verline taking attack mode just before the full course yellow was called.
Yeah.
So it was just horrible timing for Porsche.
Not good at all. And Van Boost has been awarded.
So we've got top 6 all in attack mode.
Sorry to cut across you. That was De Vries. De Vries got it all locked up and has lost positions to Evans and Da Costa. So De Vries outside of the points. So that's both the championship contenders. Where's Frines? Frines
is still
17th.
got his penalty, but he's down in 17th, I think.
So this stands to benefit Mitch Evans, who is looking at the screen with intense looks. Can't see where Evans is. 9th. 1 point.
Yeah, 9th or 10th, isn't he? Because he was just behind De Vries before that happened.
I tell you what,
we got Bird at 11th.
And this is why all 4 tyres locked up on De Vries. And he nearly lost the rear. Very well held from De Vries with that one. But we have got the fan boost being awarded, but I'm not seeing anything from the stewards about what it is, because it should have been released about 10 minutes ago. So there's been a lot of action since then, unfortunately. And I can't find it on the monitor, which is brilliant news. So
I think Van Dorn, De Vries, Da Costa and Bird all got a fan boost, as did Cassidy.
There we go. Brilliant. I'll mark them up as we go
So it really
along.
helps Van Dorn in the lead, actually. He's got that extra thing in case Sims or Verline catches up to him later on.
Safety car, if
this
that
is
happens,
going to Mercedes as well. Oh, has the safety car been called?
No, I'm just saying if there's a safety car out, that'll benefit Van Dorn.
Okay, because you're ahead of me, so I'm just trying to... So De Vries looked like he made a very similar error to Cassidy on the first lap.
Yeah, it looked exactly the same, down to turn 7 as well, as banners being blown around the track as well, and the drivers almost running into them. The advertising board with ABB, as we're on board with Sebastian Buemi, who is trying to charge down his own teammate, Ollie Rowland. And actually, thinking about it, the two big accidents we've seen today have been between Rowland and Buemi. So Nissan's not playing fair today. We've got the fan boost on the screen.
I'm wondering what ABB actually stands for. A big board.
Oh, and now we're on a shape. Nato having to defend from the inside from a very loose Gunther. Gunther's on 2 minutes left of attack mode. Got it all locked up, and Nato just perfectly shut the inside line. That was good defence. Back to you, Ed. Sorry.
Yeah, there we go. So I think Gunther has been trying very well all weekend to get the BMW into the points so highly, but Nato, in this race especially, has been really good at defensive driving and just not being completely driven into the wall. He's done well to stay out the wall of points and stay in the top 5 or so.
The stewards have actually had a report just sent to them for they haven't let the teams know who the fan boost winners are. The teams knew about it when they saw the TV graphics. It's only just now come up on the monitor about who the fan boosts are. Dear. So the teams are angry about that because there's only 20 minutes left of the race. Mortara takes attack mode at the same time to Costa. Launches on the inside of Buemi. Coming out late, though. One of the Jaguars, that was Mitch Evans, trying to go through on the inside of Buemi. Buemi turned in, not knowing he was there. Evans backs out of it. Lucky no damage. Just a little tap I saw coming into turn 16. But getting a bit dangerous out there. And now Evans is trying nearly out of attack mode. He's got 10 seconds left. Trying to get past Buemi. Pulls left, pulls right. Down through turn 7 into the braking zone. Now into T1, actually, if I get my zones right. He's right on the back of him. And he goes to the inside, late on the brakes, down towards turn 4. And he's through. Good move. And further back as well. That's Evans passing Buemi, but at the same time, Mortara passes to Costa, I think. Yeah, Rowland. It's all going off.
I think we're not talked about Da Costa much, but he's actually gone up from a quite lowly spot on the grid. He was sort of in the 11th or 12th or something like that, and he's climbed up to about 8th position.
Yes.
So the DS, the Cheetah, the Season 7 powertrain, working well, but it's difficult just to make it through all this traffic, isn't it?
Oh, traffic it's rush hour in Rome at the moment. We've got a massive gaggle of cars together. It's Verline as well, who has attack mode.
Yeah, there's like a train behind Alex Sims, isn't there?
Van Dorn, De Vries, Bird, Da Costa, Verline are the fan boost winners. So you're right with that one. So Van Dorn keeps that 100% record, but will we ever doubt it?
I wonder if this is a consequence of fan boost becoming such an afterthought that they're just not thought to inform the teams. Yeah. It just sort of shows, why do we have it if it's just it's so insignificant?
Ooh,
it makes no impact on the race.
Sims, Verline, Nato, Gunther, all going for attack mode. Mortara slotting in between Nato and Gunther. That puts that battle on ice for a couple of minutes. But Nato and Gunther are now under investigation for causing a collision.
Oh dear.
It's all go. You can see who's on attack mode as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'll watch along in the timing graphics. They're lighting up blue for those on attack mode. So
and that would be Mortara, though. I mean,
yeah. Mortara's got 2 minutes left of that attack mode. But as you said, they tried this in New York a couple of years ago, as you said, pre-show, as Sete Camera takes his third and final attack mode. It doesn't really give anything to the racing, does it? 2 was okay. 3 seems like an overuse.
Well, I don't know. I think 3 sort of... I agree. That they're spending more time in attack mode than on the track itself at times. But
yes,
but I can see why they're doing it, because I think it adds more strategy because you've got more options. But I feel like you don't really need it. It worked fine yesterday when they had 2. It was just unfortunate that the race didn't go the full distance, because what De Vries was saying before the start was that they were saving more than the Jaguars. They thought the Jaguars were going to be a lap short at the end, and that's going to be interesting with just over 15 minutes left to go. How this plays out with Van Dorn. We see pulling off in the distance, but how's his battery in the closing stages?
He was just told about that over the radio as well. He's asking for information from the teams. The teams aren't really giving it.
Yeah, so Sims has not really been able to keep up with the pace of Van Dorn, despite the fact that the Mahindra is in attack mode and the Mercedes isn't.
Of course, to the teams.
Although actually Van Dorn has just gone in since I say that to attack mode.
Yeah, he's just taken the attack mode now. But also, Van Dorn was just told on the radio to take attack mode. But of course, I've just remembered that as Bird takes his third attack mode and moves ahead of, actually loses a couple of places. Bird's down to 11th. DaCosta's just past Evans. But the teams don't actually know the exact percentage of the battery left. They've got that removed a couple of seasons ago. So
they did, yeah. So it's all based on what if the timing graphic shows it basically in the closing stages.
Yeah, to hurry up. And I do like that aspect that all the teams are just watching the same broadcast we are to try and work out what's happening in the race. As Sims at the moment is is that 3/10? No, hang on, that's the gap between the leader. I need intervals on my timing monitors.
Yeah, a 0.4, I think, about 0.4.
Yeah, round about 0.4. As DaCosta's used his fan boost. So DaCosta has used his fan boost to try and get past Oliver Rowland. As we're on board now with the DS to Cheetah. Round turn 7 across the start line. Pulls to the inside.
Rowland hasn't got attack mode.
And he's through. DaCosta through. Rowland's back down now, and he's going to be swamped. Should Rowland have taken attack mode beforehand? He's got 3.
I don't know how many has he got left. Oh, he's got a few left. Okay.
Yeah,
I think Rowland's going to save him for later on. I think this is an interesting strategy. I would say Rowland's probably playing it safe and trying to make sure he's got some attack mode in the closing stages, unless it ends under a safety car, in which case this will look a bit pointless.
I know. The two races have started under the safety car. Will we get the same ending of a safety car as well? And that's always something I like, actually, just talking about the safety car starts. Do you remember Hong Kong a couple of years ago?
Where Rosencrantz spun
yes.
under the safety car, a bit like Cassidy did today.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And 2
Costa
seconds.
completing the move.
And we've got other cars going through. Rowland's now taken his third and final attack mode as he's going past now also around the outside by Evans and also by Rowland's getting through everywhere now. He's past Bird. Bird's angry. Left and right. So, yeah, Rowland's 10th, Bird's 11th. We're watching now with Bird. He's just got through on the inside. Van Dorn leads, Sims, Verline, Nato, Mortara, top 5, Gunther, DaCosta, Evans, Boemi, Rowland, 10. Followed by Bird, De Vries, Rast, Lynn, Frines, Blomqvist, Vern, Muller, Dennis, Sete Camera, Turvey, Lotter and Cassidy. That's going to change right now as Gunther's under pressure as Mortara slips through on the inside and goes through. So Mortara repasses Gunther, who tried the move down in towards turn 7 and didn't work out on that one. And they're still close across the start line.
Yeah, I'm looking. Gunther is still behind Mortara, but in attack mode and trying to challenge him. So I'm assuming that's I'm just about to see that.
That is one of the Porsches being passed, but I think that was Norman Nato passing Verline. Yes, Nato has passed Verline for third place.
So Verline being stuck behind Sims has basically wrecked any chance he would have at trying to win this one, I think.
You're talking about...
Through goes Nato.
You're talking about battery percentages. They've just come up on the monitor. The incident involving Bird and Muller, no further action after investigation, so they're clear into this one. They've all got around about 35, 36
got away
left.
With that one, frankly.
Yeah. I'm surprised about how much energy they've got left, 35, 36% this late in the race. Very bizarre seeing that as Gunther's on the radio.
A lot of them are saving.
Absolutely. Gunther has been told to be efficient with his energy as well as Degrassi's front wing still on the inside down into turn 7 as Nato breezed up the inside and easily got through.
Nato's got 2% less than Sims ahead of him though. So Sims is actually looking really good at this phase.
Are we
but
dreaming?
He's got 1% more than Van Dorn. But I would be very surprised actually if Van Dorn loses this one the way it's going at the moment. But we've still got 12 minutes on a lap to go. So
Sims only got 6 points on the board. Mahindra running in 9th in the championship, matching with 11th in the championship, matching with Neo 333 on 10 points. Dilbag Gill said it's one of the worst starts to a Formula E seasons we've ever had. Now, hopefully, if they can get a win in the 4th round, it sort of puts them back in the championship with how many races we have. 10 currently on the calendar.
To me, puts into perspective how terrible Neo's season was last year, where they didn't score any points at all.
And
so
now
they really had to introduce a new powertrain. And it seems to be going okay, although they're not doing too well in this race, with Turvey still stuck at the back, Blomqvist in the midfield about 15th or so.
And Gunther and Nato, no further action after investigation as well. So Gunther and Nato's little crash between each other gets themselves off the hook. 4.2 seconds, the gap between Stoffel Van Dorn and Alex Sims at the moment. The gap between Sims and Nato, 1.2. So it's closing again. So I'm thinking Nato could just catch up to Sims if Sims is going to push Van Dorn. Maybe not.
Yeah, Nato, like I said, Nato has been very impressive. And this is a guy, let's not forget, who was, when Massa was in the seat, he was the test or reserve driver. He was showing up to races even when they didn't need him. He was being helpful. He was doing the hours in the simulator. So Norman Nato has fully earned his shot and is proving why he deserves to be in that Venturi.
And Buemi's dropped down to 15th place. He's been passed by Lynn and Frines. I don't think he's taken attack mode, though. He hasn't. So Lynn and Frines have just got through. Buemi's dropped down into 15th place. That's even more disappointing.
I'll tell you who's not having a great race. Vern, who won yesterday,
Yeah.
just stuck behind Tom Blomqvist down in 17th position. So it's really not going to plan for John O'Vern.
And Vern on the radio, 2 seconds. And that is Buemi making contact with the second Audi of Rene Rast. So that's Rast passing
That's
Buemi.
two Audis he's made contact with.
And De Vries got involved in that too. So Rast passing De Vries and Buemi at the same part of the track. Meantime, Alex Lynn has got Robin Frines just behind him over 12th position. Not involved in the points at the moment, but still close out there on the track. Cut back to the front as well. Roland under pressure as well. Rast trying to look to the inside on the Bird.
Roland's run out of attack mode, so that's why Bird is challenging him now.
Rast has got 2 minutes left of his attack mode, so he can really start pushing him now. And it's getting so close out there. I'm loving it. 9 minutes to go.
That was a little more dodgy there by Buemi, I think, than because I don't think Rast moved over, or he nearly hit the front of De Vries, actually. As we look at Frines really all over the back of Lynn and continuing to be so.
And unfortunately as well and a big slide coming out of the hairpin at turn 15 from Norman Nato. Verline's going to try and capitalise on that. They've all now caught up to Alex Sims, but Sims has decreased that gap to Van Dorn to 3.7 seconds. Now,
because Sims has a bit more energy to use, so if him and Van Dorn are on, let's hope that they're on the same sort of energy strategy, so it's not the case that both of them run out by the end. I think they've got some great engineers at Mahindra and Mercedes, so let's see how this plays out.
Verline has been told he's 2% ahead as Nato and Mortara behind him, but he's on the same strategy as Rene Rast has just dropped down my timing screens to P16. Oh, and that's why Rast is in the wall, and this is going to end behind the safety car.
In the wall.
And Rast,
both of them out. This is like Mercedes yesterday.
And Rast is down at turn 1, the very fast sweep, and the rear wheel is also broken. What's happened there? I don't know, but that's going to trigger a safety car.
Because he was fighting with Roland
no
and
brakes.
De Vries.
He said no brakes. That's what was on the The problem is Evans has got past Acosta at the right time. Because if that safety car comes out, it's going to have to, because that's in a difficult part of the track. Any idea, Ed, if they might red flag and restart the next 7 minutes?
I've not seen Rast's stranded car yet. Rast was in attack mode as well at the time when he crashed. There we go. I'm seeing the rear completely destroyed. But yeah, very unfortunate for Audi. It seems if there was a brake failure when he was in attack mode as well, we have people using fan boost.
We've got a replay. Over.
Yeah, let's have a look at it.
He's just lost it. He's right. No brakes, coming down the hill at turn 1 and just slings backwards into the wall. So absolutely nothing he could do. So 2 Audis out of the race, no brakes, and safety car. Safety car deployed.
It feels like Audi have given up.
Yes.
Brakes. They know they're leaving Formula E. They're just like, well, just go a bit faster by just not slowing down. And this is unfortunately the result. And poor Rene Rast, nothing he could really do there. He was having a good race as well, just outside the top 10. And he finished 6th yesterday out of all the chaos. So it's not like it's not like he's going to come away with nothing from all this weekend, but still.
I don't know about you, Ed, but I'm having deja vu. The race started behind the safety car. Now it's ending behind the safety car. This is very like yesterday. If people aren't careful, people just joining us, this isn't usually how Formula E operates. Usually we have 5 red lights and the checkered flag, not safety cars at either end.
It would be nice if they could get this going again, but at least Rast is parked right near a gap in the fence. They could probably tear him away. He's taken a bit of advertising hoarding with him from Saudi Airlines, so which I'm pleased to see because I don't like having that beside the track. But anyway,
Positives from
there's
that.
the Mini on track. There is a positive from this, apart from what René Rast made a noble sacrifice. But anyway, I'm sure he would have rather not had to do that.
Safety
but
car.
Anyway, Nick Cassidy, by the way, still running in the race, down in 22nd behind Lotterer. So those two having issues are basically going to finish last, unfortunately. So a big missed opportunity for Nick Cassidy, unfortunately.
This gets worse and worse out there as well. And on the bottom of my
if
time...
the race does get restarted again, he's got a lot of spare energy. Nato is the one who's really won out of this one because he's still got 21% energy left in the battery. So he was quite low compared to the people around him. But this is played out.
Van Dorn.
And of course, this has eliminated Van Dorn's lead. So if we do get going again, Van Dorn's in trouble. His Sims are behind him with more energy.
Yeah, Van Dorn, De Vries, Bird, and Verline still have their attack modes left. And Van Dorn says, "Can I use fan boost for the restart?" So yeah, they're clearly thinking of that. Very surprised actually. We saw this a lot. Back in Season 5, with limited time left on the clock, they usually do stop it and restart it because it's quicker than just letting the safety car out there and the time tick down. So, bit disappointed that they keep doing it. That's the problem with timed races,
Maybe it's a reluctance to also cancel the race as well,
Yeah.
or to red flag the race in terms of having to do all the restart procedure. They're thinking we're so close to the end, we may as well just put it under safety car, reduce the energy, and just carry on.
Really, really annoys. Really annoys it. I love seeing proper ends, but I'm really crossing my fingers now that we get this safety car in and we get restarted again. Van Dorn has led to from lap 8, and now Rast only just getting out of the Audi, and they've now got a crane on the track as well, so this could take a while. Synthor says, that's a little opening there. Can they just put the car back? And you sure the safety car will not restart?
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Rast had a little bump with the wall just before he went off, so there was previous damage. It wasn't a brake. As I said earlier, Audi does not bothering to put brakes in these cars.
Suspension then possibly an issue. That could be one to watch. Any surprise with this track, the amount of bumps we've seen and
That was where
flying off.
Roland hit it in qualifying yesterday with the rear tire.
Yes.
I'm not surprised to see it fail there, to be honest.
Same part of the track as well, actually.
And look at the marshals just desperately trying to pick up bits of detritus and get them off the racetrack.
Just everything. Move out of the way. We've got to get this race on. 3:30 to go. So this could be interesting. Interesting enough.
At least this hasn't happened as late as the Grassy Van Dorn De Vries incident did yesterday. So Rast's car should be able to be recovered by the crane with enough time for us to get the race going again.
We might end up at the same distance as we did yesterday, 24 laps. No, actually, yesterday was 22 laps. Today's prediction was 24. But now, with this time, we might just get to 22. And I'm seeing spots of rain on the camera lens that we're watching now, but it's just gone away ever so quickly. So let's hope it's all good. Lynn, Frines and Cassidy all have attack modes left to use. Van Dorn...
They have to use them, don't they?
Yes, they do,
They'll get
yeah.
penalised if they don't.
So they're all going to be ones to watch, maybe to get up as the fields bunch back up. Van Dorn, De Vries, Bird and Verline have got the attack mode left. Sorry, Fanby's left. So
if Sims makes a great getaway and Van Dorn holds on purely because of fan boost, then it'll be, I think, one of the very few incidents of fans basically winning the Grand Prix for Van Dorn.
That would be something.
So still Van Dorn winning fan boost constantly. Now it's finally going to play into something. It doesn't have any attack modes left. It's only Lynn, Frine, and Cassidy, as you say.
Cassidy's got 25% of energy, and Nato's actually
may as well use it.
Ed, safety car in this lap, and that's turn 7.
Go with like 2 minutes left then.
Yeah, so, we're going to have a race.
At least 2 laps left then.
And Scott Elkin, the race director, sitting in the chair looking on. And the race director's channel's open, but it's just disappeared as well as I quickly put the fader up to try and listen to what he had to say, but he said nothing. So let's have a look at that then. So 22% for Van Dorn and Sims, Nato 20, Verline 21 as well, Mortara 19. They're coming across the start line. They have to make it all the way to the last couple of corners before we can go green for, I think, Ed, when they cross the line, 2 laps? 2 laps?
Would be, yeah. Because by the time the time runs out, when the lead across the line, that'll be the final lap.
So it will be a 22-lap race. The safety car coming in. We're getting ready for the restart.
Well, Sims looks a bit far back. He might not be able to make the jump this time on the guy in front of him. But he has closed up a bit on Van Dorn since I said that. So.
Van Dorn's now bunching up the fields as the safety car, the mini safety car, pulls away.
Is it just me, or does Mortara have something caught in the halo? Look when he comes by. It looked like there was something yellow advertising hoarding stuck in the side of Mortara's halo.
Yes, there's something.
I hope that's not a safty issue.
Oh, if they pull him up on that, I think it'll be ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous,
Really painful for Venturi. They've still got a chance to maybe win this one with Nato. But...
I tell you what, Ed, Van Dorn is backing the field up. There's only 30 seconds left of this race before we go to the extra lap. He does not want to do an extra lap. Sims is on the radio telling him to push hard, but Van Dorn is now the safety car. 20 seconds left. They're just coming out of the hairpin. I don't think they're going to do it. We'll have one flying
this
lap.
Is sneaky stuff from Van Dorn to make sure that Sims doesn't get a go at him.
Cross the line, green flag as the timer has hit 0, and Van Dorn hasn't crossed the line. It will be one lap left in this race. Green flag's around, the race is back on, and now Van Dorn has to push. Sims hasn't got the best restart. Nato's hit 5% as the race is underway once again. No sign of everyone going for the attack mode.
Energy then, yeah, because I'm still looking at them on 19-20%. So.
Oh, and Bird's in the wall. Bird's down the order. Bird's dropped.
No.
Oh, no, it's a transponder. It's a transponder issue. It's okay. Bird's still in 10th place.
Bird's still in 9th then. Okay.
Yep.
Having gotten away with his move on Muller earlier.
Big block up from Sims as he comes down as well. Everyone trying to defend. Nato locks up, trying to throw up the inside. Van Dorn's now using his fan boost as Sims was just in the wheel tracks of going for an overtake. Ed, it's actually happened. Fan boost has kept in the lead. Unbelievable as they come across the start line. Van Dorn's on 3%. And now we've got to watch to anyone hitting 0. Mortara's at 1, and that's Nato, who got punted from the behind. That was from Gunther. Oh, 3 cars pile up. Out goes Burch.
No.
Out goes De Vries. And it was all caused by Ollie Rowland.
Once again, Oliver Rowland in the wars, and it's all come to grief right at the end of the race, hasn't it, Joshua?
Unbelievable! As Stoffel Van Dorn is coming through the last couple of corners. Bird now officially in the wall this time, and Mortara's on less than 1%. Van Dorn is holding off as well from Sims as we come down to the hairpin. Nato holding off from Verline. Mortara further back, battling with Gunther, who was up there before the little bit of an accident. Everyone's still trying to hold in the last couple of corners. It is going to be Van Dorn.
Amazing save by Mortara, it must be said. Oh no, De Vries. I think De Vries actually went up way too late trying to get Bird and Rowland there, to be honest. I actually feel De Vries caused that one, and Bird was an innocent victim there. And Rowland was sort of on the outside, just got caught up.
The checkered flag is out, and Stoffel Van Dorn wins the Rome Prix. Just on 0.7% of energy from Sims second, Nato third, Verline, Mortara, Gunther, Evans, Da Costa, Lynn, and Buemi comes in 10th place as Friends and Rowland are dropping further and further down the order for some reason. That's because they're still in the wall.
Didn't Friends have a penalty?
Yes.
I think, and Rowland too.
Yeah, so now they're down in the order. Deal by Gill delighted, but it's Mercedes, Mahindra and Venturi, 1, 2, 3. Venturi very happy.
And a first podium for Norman Nato, of course.
Absolutely. Susie Wolf's delighted.
Verline nearly got him at the very end as well.
So close across that line. Cassidy retired when Cassidy came into the pit lane. So the pole sitter retired from the race. And Nick De Vries still in the wall. And that was a bad day for De Vries as well. The two championship contenders of Bird and De Vries coming together with Rowland on the outside as well. Rowland got going, but Bird finished out of the race. He's already been dragged out. So Bird out, De Vries out.
Really put Stoffel Van Dorn firmly in the mix in the title standings, of course.
Well, yeah. After being down, I think, looking at the order with Van Dorn, he was outside the top 10 coming into this race. Wow.
Susie Wolf looks very delighted with Nato finishing on the podium, because that must have been a difficult decision to figure out who was going to replace Felipe Massa, even though Massa was not that successful in Formula E. But Nato has really, in just his fourth race for the team in Formula E, has finished on the podium after great qualifying, put him in that position, and he's been able to just about hold on.
I'm trying to find when Nato qualified, actually. P2 on the grid, didn't he? I should have remembered that one. I should. He was
this
rookie
is
from
great
Rome.
for Van Dorn as well after that crash yesterday. That have to say wasn't completely his fault. He had to go over the manhole cover. There wasn't any grip around it when. It was just unfortunate for Mercedes. But here he's made amends, and he didn't really put a foot wrong. Once he got past Wehrlein into the lead, that was it really.
Lynn, Frines and Cassidy under investigation for breaking Article 37 and 38 of the sporting regulations. We're just seeing a quick replay, actually.
Well, Lynn is in ninth, so that could lose him a few points there and potentially put Blomqvist into the points again, who is 11th.
Oh!
in all the chaos at the end.
I tell you one thing, it was synchronised spinning. They all lost it over the same bump. De Vries over the, so up front as well. Nato and Wehrlein nearly came together, jumping over the bump. Then it came De Vries, who lost it, hit the side of Bird, who hit the side of Roland. So it's that bump down to turn one. I tell you what, you're right, Ed. Very glad we didn't have a standing start. It would have been every car out at turn one.
Yeah, I think the rain. You said there was a bit of moisture.
Yes.
I think that has played into that whole scenario we just found there.
Bird's car was just out of shot as well, so he's managed to get it up the escape road.
Certainly saved the season for Mortara so far.
Big one.
And look at the sparks out the back of that thing as well.
I cannot.
Yeah, De Vries lost it really early, and I think Sam Bird will certainly be quite upset. I think Oliver Rowland would just be happy to continue after that one because he did get a few points, but yeah, no such luck for Sam Bird.
And
here's the onboard I'm looking at. Oh,
yeah, big
it
whack,
looked to me
wasn't
like
it? Yeah.
From the onboard, he just goes right into the side of Rowland, but he had De Vries hitting him in the side on the left, unseen. So.
Yeah. Synthel says, now they went 3 wide. What do you expect? Why did they go 3 wide? It was all just a mistake.
De Vries lost it very early, so I think De Vries was to blame for that one, for instigating the contact. But at the same time, he got over the bump. We saw so many drivers just basically struggling to keep it in a straight line there. And yeah, the brakes just didn't quite click on the Mercedes in time, and it all ended in tears.
Safety car.
But, yeah, De Vries has lost the championship lead over this weekend. He certainly does not look the calm and controlled driver that he did in Diriyah.
Stays on 32 points, 2 retirements in a row. Bird now stays on 43. And Robin Frines was on 34. Frines was outside of the points, wasn't he, in the end?
I think Evans finished 7th.
Evans was 7th. So Evans, I think,
with 5 points to his name from that.
36 points. So Bird keeps the championship lead. Evans moves to 2nd. So it's a Jaguar 1-2. Judging by quick maths. That could be wrong. But yeah, yellow flag still out on the circuit. Van Dorn, Sims, Nato, Wehrlein, Mortara.
Those sparklers, I noticed when... Oh, there we go. Just turn them on.
Sorry.
When Vern won, they put the sparklers on immediately.
Norman Nato is under investigation for energy overuse. Oh, hang on. It says, please ignore previous message on the race control.
Okay, someone really didn't like Ventura and was just playing a cruel prank on them there.
I know. No, it's actually Car 71 Nato under investigation, power over Rouge. And now they've now corrected it as well with overuse. Please ignore.
Someone in race control has gone a bit crazy on the keyboard there.
I know, getting ridiculous. What was that earlier on? We had keeping it latency instead of length as well. I don't know if that's coming up on the monitor you're seeing as well, but yeah. But it has now said, please ignore previous message. So he's okay. Nato is okay. They've disregarded that.
But I like how they show that graphic and they immediately cut to Susie Wolf celebrating on the screen behind Van Dorn.
Yeah, surprise, Susie! And then give her a mild heart attack. Why don't you? Got your first podium of the year. So yeah, with Van Dorn just winning, that's 4 different races, 4 different winners. Bird won round 2 in Diriyah. De Vries won round 1. Vern won yesterday, and now Van Dorn today. That's an impressive start.
I think the interesting thing is, I think they costed well to finish 8th in the end, but they didn't. The DS Tudor didn't quite completely carve through the field like we sort of expected them to.
Yeah, Da Costa is 8th. Yeah.
Well, I think qualifying is playing a huge role in the outcome of these races, but the Season 7 Tudor powertrain is not the dominant force that we feared it might be coming into this race, which is definitely good news, especially for the likes of Mercedes, who still seem to be one of the quicker packages. And given the way Van Dorn was able to just carve his way up from, 3rd or 4th on the grid, past Wehrlein, Cassidy ruined his own race, basically, unfortunately. But yeah, there wasn't really an. I think Sims drove a very, very tactical race today to finish second. So
he should have gone for the attack at the restart, but didn't. He defended from Nato instead. So
could he have? I don't know.
No. He
didn't have any left.
It was almost like he was getting into the wheel tracks Van Dorn. Then Van Dorn used his fan boost, and he just backed off and defended off from Nato. From what I saw.
I just don't think there was an opening for Sims in the end.
No.
But yeah, for once, stop Van Dorn's legion of fans who I've no doubt all from his GB2 days and not from his F1 days when he was behind Alonso at McLaren. He was a very hyped up driver before he came to Formula 1.
Stoffel.
Yes. It's good to see him finally delivering. This would be his second win after he won in Berlin as well last season.
Stoffel, the Belgian waffle, he used to be called.
Yes, as we all call him.
And Synthel's saying in the group chat as well, he says, okay, I look back and De Vries lost it and touched the blue car. That would have been Bird. And the third guy got collected, that would be Roland. De Vries into Bird, I think, and I saw Roland was collected but managed to continue. That's my analysis, he says. Lol. Synthel, spot on.
That was a very visual analysis. I don't think there's too many connotations to draw from the readings to draw from that. But, it all happened very quickly.
And we've now got Lynn, Friends, and Cassidy have been given a drive-through penalty converted into 30 seconds for not respecting attack mode regulations. We picked up on this. They had one left, and they haven't used it.
They didn't get to use it with the final lap, so that was all Van Dorn's fault for slowing the field down and making sure there was one lap. It raced 22 laps, not 23. But Lynn being dropped down puts Bohemia up to 9th, 2 points for Nissan, and Blomqvist in the Neo 333 gets the final point once again, 2 races in a row. So Tom Blomqvist doing well to really survive these chaotic races.
I think he likes Rome.
We'll have to see if the rest of the season goes as well. Well, because Oviltervi was basically completely compromised all weekend. Blomqvist did a good job to get those points. But I think Norman Nato, the real star of today, actually, to hold on to that third position. Yeah. And although I think a lot of great drives out there, I think Gunther actually did really well to hold on, as did Mortara. Even though I think I've sort of bet on Mortara to win, 5th place isn't too bad, all things considered.
Mortara got to P5 in the end, didn't he? And he started 7th. Yeah. We've also got incident involving Roland and De Vries and Bird is under investigation. Oh, hang on a minute. Incident involving...
I think De Vries could be in trouble.
Yes, but Mortara and Gunther are under investigation as well.
Was that for that bit where Mortara had a half spin at the end?
The half spin,
This is a bit harsh, because he didn't even hit Gunther.
Well, this could be an interesting one.
Well, they were quite close earlier, you mentioned, didn't you, in commentary?
Yes,
they were quite close earlier, so that might be that incident instead of the bit at the end where they didn't hit each other, or they narrowly avoided hitting each other.
Nick De Vries has been awarded the fastest lap of the race, a 1:47.71. They had to take that away, actually, and count it back.
I guess he dropped out of the top 10,
Sam Bird under investigation now for ignoring race direction orders. That's probably to stay in the car because he got out of the car.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this
Must have been really annoyed at the end.
Race control are going to have a long evening here to work out all these penalties coming through. This is all...
penalty for Bird would have to be in the form of a grid drop for the next race, which of course would be Valencia in May, I think, in a couple of weeks' time, isn't it?
Yes, May. Valencia's end of this month, isn't it? 24th or 25th? End of April, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. And yes, the 24th and 25th of April for the double header in Valencia. And I've seen the track map now, and I agree with you. It looks a bit go-karty compared to what we're normally used to.
Well, there should be a bit more space than we had here at Rome, but it won't be a traditional street circuit. So it'll be interesting. First Formula E race in Spain, of course. Yes. We have tested at Valencia many times over the last couple of years, but haven't had a proper race, apart from the test races there, which all the drivers said were basically irrelevant because we don't race here. So
now
they're going to have to eat their words.
I can't wait. I really, really hope, because I know Formula E filmed them, as I think you said during pre-season testing that Darren had a go at commentary during the test races.
I had an interview with Darren where she said that one of the things, they were judged on 2 things, but there was a bonus thing where they got to do commentary, and Darren actually was offered to do it but didn't.
Right, that was it, yeah.
So I was saying, it's good that didn't count against you, but she said that some of the other semi-finalists, I think Aidan Vincent and was it Tatty Baker or Alexa? I think it was Alexa and Aidan who both did some commentary, just on some pre-selected clip or something.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's a shame.
yeah, not so. Even though I did just basically all commentary and no presenting.
Same thing. That's what I. That's what
I
I
know,
did.
but I guess it helped that I spent ages doing animation.
I know.
So,
I saw it.
Look at Sim's glasses. One of his glasses is fogged up a
Oh,
bit
yeah.
with the mask on. Unfortunately, this is something my brother has as well.
Oh yeah, I know. I've been having that. That's because I haven't worn my glasses so far. Because if I wear a mask and the glasses as well, I know exactly what you mean. But did you watch? I can't remember if it was in qualifying in Super Bowl. Dario said, "I really want to ask how Sims drives with glasses on, because don't they fog up in these conditions? And I want to actually know if there is some sort of special resin on them, because I know it was.
Well, I know that when Sebastian Bordeaux used to drive in Formula One, they had a fan that they would blow into his glasses to keep them unfogged up, like Monaco when it rained one year.
Yeah.
But I believe Sims has a kind of similar thing. Oh, they're showing this the pre-recorded things of Sims waving his fists and grinning and yelling, basically. But yeah, a great opportunism from Alex Sims and great energy management today. So really, a lot of people were thinking Mahindra was a backwards move for him, but I think he's been able to show he can make it work today. And so, yeah, a great performance from Sims and a well-deserved second place. You got to think another win for Mahindra, if he can carry on performances like this, might not be too unrealistic. Oh, and they're showing Verline third for some reason, and not Norman Nato.
Verline is third. Verline, it's just changed over.
Oh, so the message wasn't incorrect. So they are interviewing Verline at the moment.
Yeah.
So as for position, so it looks like
Norman Nato has been black flagged from this race. He has been just come through on the race control channel as well. You're right. I'm double checking, triple checking everything
that
here.
Would be for an overuse of an energy spike or something. Yeah, but Verline looking a little miffed about losing a shot at the win here, because he was in the box seat earlier in the race.
And this is now what would be the overtake for Norman Nato. And yeah, just looking at it, it has changed over on all screens, and the official black flag.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Susie Wolf.
Oh, poor Susie.
And the entire Venturi team. But they still finished fourth with Mortara, of course.
So yeah.
Only just with that save at the end. Yeah.
I suppose that's some benefit.
Mortara gets investigated as well, I have to see.
Mortara is an investigation.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully, because I didn't think it was big, the contact with Gunther, so hopefully he might get away with that one.
But yeah, Bird has now been given more. I think Bird's already out of the race, so I'm presuming Bird will get a grid penalty for the next race instead of having, because he's already out of the race. But yeah, and with that black flag, the fastest lap has now been given to Stoffel van Dorn. They're all changing over.
More points for Mercedes. It would have gone to Vries, instead it's gone to Van Dorn.
It's all going up the order at the moment. So here is
At least they're doing this now rather than several hours later.
Oh, completely, yeah. It gives us something to do while we're on air. But Linz, Friends and Cassidy all got penalised as well. So this is how the results stand at the moment. Sam Bird has won the Heineken 00 Keep Cool Award. Don't know how he kept cool. He was got out of the car angry.
Yeah, that's a very odd decision. Maybe someone it closed before the race ended, I imagine. Just at the end of the race, and get time to vote for someone else. I would say the person who really kept cool here was Alexander Sims.
Yes.
And maybe potentially Van Dorn as well. But of course, with another disqualification, that moves everyone up. So 2 more points for Tom Lundqvist and Neo through, which I'm happy with.
Muller gets a point.
Yeah, Muller for Dragon gets a point as well. So just holding on Muller, really, in that race.
Only their second point score of the year after getting 22 in the second race at Duia. So it is Van Dorn, Sims and Verline the podium from Mortara, Gunther, Evans, Da Costa, Boemi, Blomqvist, Muller, top 10. So they're the points. Vern now finishes 11th. That must be a kick in the teeth. Sete Camera, Dennis, Turvey, Lotterer, Roland, Lynn and Frines, the 18 classified runners. Out of the race, Bird, De Vries, Cassidy, Rast, De Grassi and black flagged and disqualified from the race, Norman Nato. Wow.
He'll be disheartened by that, Norman Nato, but hopefully he uses that experience and comes back stronger next time out.
Absolutely.
And, just looking at the Mercedes going to the podium.
Yep, the one now for it, as the Constructors' Trophy will be presented to Mercedes for the second race of the year, as well after winning the first race in Diriyah, and now race 2 here in Rome. Pascal Wehrlein gets the podium, which
His
is...
first podium for Porsche, of course. A
Yeah.
new team for this season that he moved to. Has been on podium before for Mahindra, but I think it'll be not too unhazy. It looks a little disappointed because I think there was a chance of the win there today, but I think
for
Pascal
sure, yeah.
will see that he was a bit unlucky with attack mode and take the podium. I think he'll be relatively pleased with that. As Sims has a little dance, because of course Mahindra have been doing a whole thing where they got what was it, Strictly Come Dancing stars to swap with them, and they've been doing a whole series of videos about that. So I think that Sims just having a little in fact, Jack was just talking about it right now in commentary. So yeah, he's made the same connection there.
So Van Dorn from Sims, from Wehrlein, 1, 2, and 3. No denying really that Van Dorn was in a class of his own today. Checked out the front early on, and the safety car threw him. But actually, I've just looked over at the timing screen to see the gap between Van Dorn and Sims across the line. Would you believe, in the land of all that is holy, in Rome, Italy, it was
the Eternal City.
Yeah, it was the number of the beast that separated Van Dorn and Sims. 666 across the line.
What's in the background for the German flag? I'm not sure I recognise that. It's two different things. So you've got the Karl Marx Alley arch in the middle of Berlin, and there was a different one for Van Dorn's Belgian, of course. So
yes, Van Dorn's Belgian,
different.
yeah.
That looked like the Brussels Parliament building in the background of the flag.
The British... No, going to eat my words there. German.
This is the Belgian national anthem. I know this well because I used to sim race against the Belgian guy who would always beat me. It wasn't Silver Van Dorn, it was a guy called Sammy. But I had some great fights with him over the years in like Trackmania and all sorts of esports events. So I know the Belgian national anthem intimately because I had to edit the videos and add it in.
Oh God, yeah.
There were a couple of ones that I won, but those are the good ones.
I just like
anyway,
I just like to point out we are desperately also trying to get hold of some national anthems we can use for these parts, because we can't use the...
I could sing the Belgian national anthem for you. But,
you can have a go. We're on the German at the moment. Do you know the German one?
Yeah.
Perfect.
You're ahead of me, so it's all out of time. So.
It's just finished. It's just finished on the.
We're very used to this one, I think, from Mercedes. Not just Mercedes, but also German drivers like Vettel or Schumacher over the years.
Oh, thousands.
Any German drivers that have succeeded in Formula E, particularly? I guess we got René Rast, who's finished on the podium before.
Daniel Abt won at home, didn't he?
Daniel Abt's won a few times in Formula E. Of course, he's had to basically retire for bizarre circumstances last season.
Yeah.
But any other German drivers in Formula E? We used to have quite a few, but I think it's a little reduced at the moment.
We had Heidfeld and Prost. Well, Heidfeld.
We did have Heidfeld.
Yeah.
Prost was French.
Prost was French, yeah.
Kind of out. So it wouldn't make sense. It's not like a Rosberg situation where Keke is Finnish and
that confused
Nico
me.
is German.
And his mother was. What was his mother? Was his mother Monegasque? I think it was Monegasque, wasn't it?
Monegasque, yes.
Yeah, his mother, yeah.
Interesting Rosberg family tree, but
I think they just decided on Germany, didn't they? In the end, it was a bit closer.
Makes the most sense. That's where he grew up. Nelson Piquet Jr., when the inaugural champion in Formula E, grew up in Germany as well.
Yes, the first champion of Formula E. Also, as well, that they're still deciding whether or not to include the champions that have gone before in Formula E as world champions. Now, this year,
they're all over the world. I think it'd be a bit harsh to exclude them. This is the first time it's been officially recognised as an FIA World Championship. So, yeah, but it's going to be quite a race to get to decide who is going to be the first world champion. I think Van Dorn really staked his claim today. If he hadn't had that crash with the grassy incident yesterday, it could well have been Van Dorn leaving here in the lead of the championship. As it is, it's still advantage Jaguar at the moment, I think.
1-2. Bird from...
Especially with De Vries having a really rough weekend.
De Vries, 2 retirements in a row. They're just getting together now for the podium selfie. The champagne is in front of all the drivers. That selfie is also quite nice. It's the first time I actually saw it on the Instagram feed yesterday. Usually I just see them take it, but never see it anywhere.
What will be interesting to see is if Alexander Sims can build on this result with Mahindra and get them to podium consistent point scores, because that's what Mahindra really need after a difficult start to the season in Saudi Arabia.
Champagne time!
I'm lifting the trophy, so I'm very well behind you.
I think it's lagged a little bit. Alex Sims is now celebrating after taking a big drink of champagne. Stoffel Van Dorn sprays confetti and fireworks going off left, right and centre with red, white and green as well. The doubleheader in Rome comes to a close. 4 different winners in 4 very different races. Although, I'd forgive you for thinking that the 2 races in Rome were similar. Both started behind the safety car. Both finished behind. The second
this
one
didn't quite finish behind. It almost did.
Almost did, didn't it? Yeah.
Runner.
Yeah. Verline's gone straight under there.
Whoa! It nearly dropped the champagne bottle earlier, Van Dorn, but he caught it. But no muted celebrations for the death of Prince Philip.
That's what I noticed as well yesterday.
This time, which is good. I think Jaguar. I can understand it from the point of view that Jaguar used to supply cars to the royal family.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas Cheetah have no real connection to royal, so Vern just celebrated as normal. I didn't think it was disrespectful, and I was glad that no one complained about it. Also helps this race isn't being broadcast on BBC Two, which is given one of the BBC's 4 national morning channels. I don't know how long morning's going to go on for. But,
30 days.
Hopefully it's 30 days.
30 days.
Okay, I mean, I'm all for respect and everything. A man died, but Prince Philip, I've got to be honest, some of the stuff he said over the years a little bit not the most sensitive, I'll put it that way. They seem to be giving Susie Wolf at the moment. She looks very forlorn. She said she doesn't really understand why they've been penalised.
It's just come up on the timing screen officially. Nato disqualification from the race for energy overuse.
Yeah, I did think it was just a power spike or something like that. And it looks like Norman just got on a curb. There was a spike. There was nothing they really had done. So bitterly disappointing for Venturi. But I think it was a strong race. They still got points from Mortara. So from a team perspective, not complete forlorn. And Nato, I think, showed what he could do today. And hopefully we'll see him in action again in Valencia and getting some good results.
I really hope so. He needs it. Absolutely. So then, Ed, 2 things for you. 1, driver of the day. 2, driver of the weekend. Considering you've been in the box for all of them. Yeah,
okay. I'm probably not quite going to go for Sam Baird because, he did very well yesterday, and he got the Keep Cool award today. Despite, I think some of the moves on Muller and the others were a bit 50-50 today. Sims and Van Dorn did very well today, but they sort of had a harder time yesterday. So in terms of, I'm trying to answer both questions at the same time. My driver for today, I would probably go for, in terms of winning up front, I would probably go for Van Dorn because I don't think he really put a foot wrong. He managed to restart beautifully, although I think Sims was very close and did a really strong job. In terms of a bit further down, who made the most progress and stuff, I would probably go, I'm not sure. I think Ido would probably be my driver for today for that amazing save and just holding on. Let's see if he avoids penalty, hopefully. And as for driver of the weekend, Christ, I'm trying to think of someone who has done a really strong job in both races. I think Gunther comes to mind bizarrely. Yeah. He just about scraped a couple of points from yesterday, and recovering from poor qualifying, and he finishes 5th today, behind Mortara. I don't think he was all that strong in either race, but he did a really solid job in a BMW. Really needed those points, and it's really going to help them in the constructors. So I think Gunther, if BMW can put it together for the rest of the season, and then they can maybe have a strong finish in what's their final season of Formula E. And Gunther will be looking potentially, if Andretti stays, he might stay there, but he might potentially be looking for a driver of another manufacturer next season. So he's really staked his claim, especially seeing how much Jake Dennis has struggled.
So here's the championship orders at the moment. Sam Bird is leading on 43 points. Mitch Evans is on 39. Robin Friend's on 34. 32 for Van Dorn and De Vries. So the two Mercedes drivers equal. Pascal Wehrlein also on 32 at the moment. So it's very close at the top. And only Lotterer and Dennis don't have any points. Norman Nato has got a point on the board after qualifying fastest in the group stage earlier on today. But in the Teams Championship, if it comes up on the iPad I've got below me, here it is. In the Teams Championship, it's Jaguar leading the way by quite a margin now. 82 points to Mercedes on 64. DS to Cheetah 46. 37 for Virgin. 32 for Porsche. Venturi on 31. Mahindra 29, the same as Nissan e.Dams. Audi on 27. Dragon on 23. And 12 each for the bottom two teams of, I think it was
BMW and Jody and Neo 333.
Thank you.
Yes, so yeah, Neo 333 really need to recover because they had such a good start to the season. And Rome, they've only been able to scrape a couple of points with Tom Blomqvist, so they need to be up there, don't they?
Absolutely. Right.
Onwards.
Let's wrap up and give you the coverage details. Next weekend here on the YouTube channel, we will have coverage of the Formula One Emilia Romagna Grand Prix from Imola. 2 practice sessions on the Friday, qualifying, and practice 3 on the Saturday, and the race on Sunday. Also on Sunday, we'll have coverage, I don't know if it's live or delayed yet, of the MotoGP race from Portimao, the 3rd round of the season. Marc Marquez returns there. Yes, I can't wait for that one. On Twitch as well, this evening we have the Champion Series on BBB, 9 leagues racing as we get to the final 3 races. We're in Shanghai later on. That's BBB Racing on Twitch. And of course, we'll be back on Monday for the same thing for the Turkish Series, and on Wednesday for the 3rd round of the Deutschland Series. Ed, take us through the ERC's schedule of events and the next race coming up there.
Well, the next race, I believe, is somewhere in, I think it's May. We're doing the Le Mans, 12 hours of Le Mans. And I really need to actually get the schedule in front of me because you completely caught me by surprise.
Sorry about that.
But I do know that that would be the 5th round of the season. We've got, I think, about 10 rounds. So we are approaching the halfway stage, and it's really tight in the top of the championship between the Hungarian Mugen Sim Racing team. We've got both their cars in the lead in LMP2, with DAC Hackers in 3rd. Absino Force Polonia, who've narrowly lost out with engine failure in Suzuka last time out. A week ago, Joshua was commentating on live.
Yep.
They're still in 4th. And the winner, Valet Esports, are sort of they're about 20 or so points behind, but they are slowly catching up in the number 90 Valet Esports that won very dramatically in Suzuka. I hear him a lot laughing from the Formula E coverage, but I'm sure that's nothing anything too important from Vernon. Vernon's been laughing the whole day. He's having a great time. But in GD3, it's a similar picture with the 2 Mugen teams leading, but it's the ADE8 leading the AAA that was leading earlier in the standings. And we got a couple of teams quite close behind. I think, I can't remember their names. BH3 Racing, Team Shiba, I think, had a missive round, number 73. Iris, number 7. They're 3rd, I think. And they're all sort of on the 60 to 80 point kind of mark. So they're really close at the top in GD3. So yeah, it's looking very dramatic there. And I hope you'll be able to join me with that. As
I will.
Gil, just on the Formula E coverage, just looking at the move that Sims made on the restart, jumping Pascal Verlaine. That'll be satisfying because Verlaine left Mahindra, of course.
Yes.
And sort of betrayed Dilbag Gil. I think he said something like that. That he took Verlaine's departure very personally because I think Dilbag he gets very attached to some of his drivers. So yeah, interesting situation.
Absolutely. And also, while you quickly get the schedule for the next race in front of you, I'll give you time. People asking when the next Formula E race is. Well, it's 2 weeks' time. We head over to Spain at Valencia, the Circuit Ricardo Tormo, a very modified one as well, for another double header. So it's Saturday the 24th of April and Sunday the 25th of April as well. And it's the only race on that weekend. But also, next weekend is the start of the IndyCar season as well. If you're watching IndyCar, we're not covering that. We're only covering the 500, which is in May.
IndyCar is a great series.
I know. I would cover it live, but the problem with it as well is that some races are literally in the middle of the night. So
yeah, it is a scheduling thing.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are a lot of people who do really enjoy IndyCar. It's sort of Formula E, but with normal combustion engines and a bit more... some great circuits on that calendar as well, like Sonoma comes to mind, Long Beach, Detroit, all sorts of great street circuits, but
Yeah.
also ovals as well, like Indianapolis, of course,
We'll be
which also has the road course there.
Yes, yeah. We'll be covering the
Anyway.
500 live on the channel as well here. Ed, have you got the schedule for ERC?
I do now.
Fantastic.
So we have had, of course, the 12 Hours of Suzuka on 3rd of April. 15th of May is Le Mans, 12 Hours of Le Mans. Not the full 24, because we did 24 hours before, and it ended crashing halfway through, so we're going to do 12 hours this time. Then on 19th of, what's after May? April. No, June, isn't it? Sorry.
June. Yeah, you go back.
June. 19th of June is 6 hours of Portimao in, of course, Portugal, which should be a lot of fun with all these 2 classes of endurance cars. Then 17th of July, 8 hours of Mugello, which is going to be completely insane.
I love Mugello.
8 hours of insanity. I imagine there's going to be lots of incidents there because it's such a narrow circuit, even more narrow than Portimao. Then we have 8 hours of Korea, the Pyongyang circuit on the 21st of August, I think. 18th of September, 12 hours of Laguna Seca, which is going to be another tricky track. But then we've finally got 16th of October, the big finale, 24 hours of Spa-Francorchamps in the Ardennes Forest. So that is going to be a great series of races in our championship, and it really could go any of like 4 or 5 ways in both series, I think. But at the moment, looking good for Mugen Sim Racing at the moment. So they'll be looking, even despite a shaky round last time, 3rd and 4th in LMP2, they will be looking to consolidate their advantage in both championships.
Absolutely. I cannot wait for that. And we've got a lot of motorsport ahead. It's only the 4th round of Formula E, and the other championships are just getting going. A height of action coming up. We're going to go off here now because we've allotted the time allowed. So my thanks to Edward Hunter for joining me this weekend in the commentary box. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hope to have you on again sometime soon. Of course, we'll be working together in a couple of weeks anyway on the 12 Hours of Le Mans. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to everybody's channel, the ERRC as well. We've got Edward's Twitter on here as well. My Twitter just down here somewhere. Ed's is there, mine's here as well. And also, we are looking forward to another cracking weekend of Formula E in 2 weeks' time. But we go there with 4 different winners from the opening 4 races, and the championship closed up to just 4 points. It's going to be exciting. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye for now.